Welcome. This is Victor from Coders Tape, and today we are doing a Laravel 5.8 preview. Stick around. So we're going to be doing a Laravel 5.8 preview. Now, everything that I will be showing you today has already been merged into the 5.8 branch. However, Laravel 5.8 has not been officially released yet. It should be another couple of weeks and we should see 5.8 get tagged. So we have some big changes to talk about, we have some small changes to talk about, and some stuff that's going to get deprecated for 5.9. However, with things like deprecations, it's never too soon to start planning ahead. So up first, we're going to be talking about the new email validation. So in Laravel 5.7, you may have noticed that sometimes email validation doesn't quite accept some emails, but that has been fixed in Laravel 5.8. So this is a totally fresh 5.8 installation that I have here on my system. So let me jump into my web routes to show you this first change. So we have our typical route here. I'm going to add a new route just for testing purposes, and we'll say get. We'll call it email validation. Let's pass in a closure. Just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to call my request, and then I'm going to call validate on it. And I'm going to be looking for a field of email, and this needs to be an email address. So where is it going to look for email? Well, in this case, it's going to look for anywhere in the request. So what we can actually do is email validation, and then let's add it as a query string. Email equals, say user at, and then let's say something like España, right? And that is going to have a special character in it, .com. Let's check out what happens. So clearly, we are passing. This is not throwing an exception at all. And this is something that would have thrown an exception in Laravel 5.7. Okay, so with this setup, I do want to tell you I did the exact same thing to a 5.7 installation. So I want to show you the difference between both of them. So if we move back, here's our 5.8. In 5.7, you would have gotten an error like this. The given data was invalid. And that's because emails were actually getting validated in a different way than the package the Laravel actually uses for sending email. So now that matches. So in 5.8, user at España.com is a valid email. Up next, this is probably one of the biggest changes coming to Laravel 5.8, and that is the new release of .env 3.0. .env is the package that Laravel uses for your EMV files. So here's my EMV file for 5.7. So to show you the difference, we're going to do a side-by-side again. I'm going to add a new entry here, and I'm going to call it coders test. And let's go ahead and just say string. Then in my route web file, I'm going to add a new route here, get, and let's go ahead and call this EMV. We'll pass in a closure, and we will simply return EMV coders test. Let me change the address here from email to EMV, and there we are. We're getting string back. Now, if you added this to a new line and then maybe said string again, let's check out the results. Nothing. And that's because .env version 2, which is what Laravel 5.7 was running, does not support multiline. That's coming now for Laravel 5.8. Let me copy this over to Laravel 5.8 and show you the difference. Okay, so we have the same string down here, and let me just go ahead and copy the route. Okay, so I've copied the exact same route, and I've copied the same exact EMV settings here. Let's head over to Chrome, and now visit EMV, and there it is. Multiline support. The reason behind it is that it will allow you to have bigger and longer keys. As it currently stands, EMV files can only really hold a small string. Once you get into multi-line keys and stuff like that, you have to use something else. So from here on out in Laravel 5.8, you will be able to do multi-line entries. Now going with that, the next feature I want to show you is that it doesn't remove any additional spaces. I'm going to add a bunch of spaces here after this string. So let me refresh this. And now it's not easy to see here because obviously HTML is not going to have repeated. However, if we take a look at this file here, you see that we have those spaces there. So it is not trimming strings. That's another new feature of .env files. It will respect exactly what you pass in. In contrast, hit refresh. And nope, that string is completely trimmed. There's nothing afterwards. So that's another difference between 5.7 and 5.8. So up next is a directory change, and that is in the mailables class. So if we run PHP artisan make mail, and we said markdown emails dot test mailable. So we have a mailable created. Let's go ahead and publish the markdown emails. PHP artisan vendor publish. And what we're looking for is right here, Laravel mail. That's the tag that we're looking to publish. So we'll say 10. And now let's check out back in PHP Storm, resources, views, and here it is. Vendor, this is the directory changed right here. This used to say HTML and used to say markdown. Now it's text. And that's for plain text because they can actually both contain markdown. So it was a little confusing before. So the directory has been renamed to text. So in contrast, in Laravel 5.7, I have the same directory opened here, and you see that we have HTML and Markdown. Again, for 5.8, that directory has been renamed text. All right, up next, we're going to be taking a look at the new error pages. So let's add a new route, and we'll call this error. Let's pass in a function and simply abort. Let's start with a 403, typo here. Let me fix that. There we go. I think you'll agree, these new pages look very nice. They're very modern, and I do think that a lot of folks are going to like these. Let's check out 5.7's error page, and we'll do the exact same thing here. We'll say get error function, and again, we're just going to abort with a 403. All right, let's check out the difference here. And there it is. So this is the 5.7 version, and this is the 5.8. Again, I think you'd agree, this is great. I love this design, but it doesn't fit for every situation. This is a much cleaner, modern look. Let's look at a 500 page, for example. Let's change this to a 500. And there you go, server error. What about a 404? And there you go, 404 not found. I think these new pages are very clean, very modern, but remember, as always, you can override these error pages and make your own or even revert back to the 5.7 pages if you wanted to by just importing them from your old project. So rest assured, you can brand these pages the same as you did before. All right, up next, we're going to talk about a small change only affecting JSON columns in MySQL. So for that, let me jump to the documentation and let's find the Laravel upgrade guide. So here's the upgrade guide. And if you scroll down just a tad, here it is, unquoted MySQL JSON values. So the query builder used to return something like this, where you would have almost double quoted strings. But now in 5.8, you're going to get some clean strings. So that's a nice addition, and I think a lot of developers are going to like that. So now let's move on to another important step, and that is deprecations. In Laravel 5.8, a lot of the array helper functions have actually been marked as deprecated. Now this is not a breaking change just yet, but it is announced that they're going to be removed in 5.9. In the next coming months, definitely start using the new notation for array. Let me show you where you can find that. That's under Illuminate, Support, and then it's the helpers.php file. So as you can see, array add has been marked as deprecated. So this is the new notation. You would use the ARR facade and then just call add on it. Now let me find another one of these. Let's see. So we have array collapse has been, array divide, array dot, except, first, flatten. You get the point. A lot of them have been marked for deprecation. So go ahead and stop using them. So array only is one of them. I actually use that one all the time. So this is the new notation. So why are these being marked as deprecated? Well, for one, they're actually not doing anything anymore. What they actually do is just simply delegate to the facade version of this. So there's no actual functionality being plucked away, but really it's just calling the parent function. And two, we are defining all of these functions, and I'm talking about hundreds of them, in the root namespace for functions. And what can happen is that some packages may be defining functions in this namespace and they're conflicting. And when they are, everything blows up. So by using the facade versions, you can rest assured that all of your Laravel functionality is going to work perfect no matter what packages you pulled in. Again, these are being marked as deprecated. They have not been erased, but it is right here. They will be removed in Laravel 5.9. So in the next coming months, go ahead and refactor all of your code that's using these and move it over to the facade version. So that's it for our Laravel 5.8 preview today. If you have any questions at all, hit us up on Twitter at CodersTape. And don't forget to subscribe for brand new weekly content on Laravel, marketing, and web development. For Coders Tape, this is Victor. Thanks for watching.